Hi, this is Miss Guevara, and I wanted to first start out and say how excited I am for our first flipped classroom video. The two topics we're going to be focusing on today are physical and political geography. Little tips and tricks for today's video. Just make sure you have your spiral notebook ready with your T-chart as we discuss these two different topics. Please pause the video at any time. This is a very self-paced lesson to get us ready for tomorrow. And I really look forward to hearing any feedback that you would like to give so we can make this a better learning experience for you. All right. We have a couple different learning objectives for our video. One is that I will, as you, the student, I will define physical geography. 2, I will describe the two most common landforms and bodies of water. 3, I will analyze several physical geographical features for class discussion. 4, I will define political geography. 5, I will describe visible and invisible political geographical barriers. And 6, I'll analyze several different political maps for the class discussion tomorrow. Based on our learning goals, you can see that, again, our two themes are highlighted throughout of physical and political geography. And remember to pause at any time to take a self-paced lesson with this. All right, let's get started. Physical geography. Physical geography is defined as the study of the natural world, specifically looking at landforms and bodies of water created by nature. First, we're going to look at landforms, then bodies of water. Landforms are natural features on the Earth's surface that are not man-made, but instead created by nature. And we're going to look at some, starting with our own neighborhood and then expanding across the globe. A first landform that we can look at is a peninsula, and we started off with our own Monterey Peninsula since we are in Monterey County. And you can see that a peninsula is defined as a landform sticking out into the water with water on three sides. We can see that illustrated here with water highlighted here, one side, two side, and three sides. This allows us to easily see these landforms, and Europe is actually not only its own peninsula, but is actually, fun fact, made up of 5 different peninsulas. All right. As we make our way down to South America, the next landform we're going to see is the tropical rainforest, and specifically looking at the Amazon rainforest. Here I'm going to include some pictures and just fun facts. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest in the world. It is home to over billions, it houses over billions of animals, humans, plants, and also produces more than 20% of the world's oxygen. It's an extreme variety of plants, animals, high precipitation, and rain, and this creates the great environment for different species to thrive. Next, we're going to head north to a bit of our extremes. The first is we're going to look at glaciers. Glaciers are a great way to think of ice cubes that are 1,000 feet deep and 25 miles long that are slowly making their way and melting. Glaciers have taken thousands of years to build and to what we see today, and they actually end up housing the world's most of the world's fresh water. Greenland is what we see in the satellite picture here. Is one of is basically a country near the Arctic Circle that is entirely covered by a glacier almost at some point. And it's a geological hotbed allowing for volcanoes to arise. Volcanoes are just mountains or thin areas of the Earth's crust that allow for magma and lava to seep out, adding to and expanding land or building up existing land as well. We mostly see volcanoes' destruction with lava and fires and all the gases that are spewed out, and we see them most commonly in mountain form. Next, we're going to go to the world's most common landform, that is deserts. There are two types: hot deserts. Normally, when we think of our sand dunes, this is what we see. We see that in Africa, it actually makes up almost half of the continent. Where we see it in the desert in the north with the Sahara Desert and the Namibian Desert in the south. Here's a great map that illustrates how vast deserts are. The red indicates hot deserts, while the blue areas actually indicate cold deserts. This is, crazy to think with the Antarctic and Arctic deserts, viewing these areas as deserts. And they're defined as deserts because they actually get less than 2 inches of precipitation or new added water a year. They're also very hostile to plants and animals, and humans as well, which why they're also defined as the deserts. And here are two examples of that. Next, we're going to go to mountains based on our class discussion. We looked at the Himalayan mountains and Mount Everest. The Himalayan mountains are the longest and tallest mountain range, with Mount Everest being the tallest mountain in the world that can be summited and climbed. And that's definitely something a lot of us included in our class conversation day. Next, we're going to go to our another most common landform, and that is islands. Islands is just a landform that is completely surrounded on all sides by water. We can think of them in the Caribbean, in fresh water, as well as a whole continent with the continent of Australia. And a little fun little picture right there. Next, we're going to look at bodies of water. A body of water is any significant accumulation of water. The term most often refers to oceans, seas, and lakes. First, we're going to look at oceans. Oceans actually cover 70% of the world's Earth's surface, and we can see that there are 5 named oceans. First is the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, sorry for that little typo right there, the Southern Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. These are saltwater and not something that people can drink. So we have our second most common bodies of water, and those are freshwater bodies with rivers and lakes. Rivers have a source, and the end is the mouth, and they make their way across different landscapes. It can be even something we choose for a recreational area. Lakes are defined as geographical features that are surrounded by all sides by water and are not draining out anywhere. They're a basin where water collects. So they can be so big we can actually see them from outer space, which is what we see right here is the Great Lakes, part of the U.S. In the satellite picture. Next, we're going to go to political geography. Political geography deals with human governments, the boundaries and subdivisions of political units, such as nation states, and the situation of cities. This next section is going to go a bit quicker, so please pause at any time to make sure your notes are clear. All right, the first thing we're going to look at are nation states and borders. First, we see with our nation states is basically we can look at the United States. We have our outline of the United States, but in addition, we have states with their own state capitals, and how this territory is come together and defined by humans and governments is what makes this such an interesting area of study. Next, we can look at international borders. Here's a copy of a world map where we can see not only are there over 167 different countries in the world, but this is also all the territory that they claim. And just seeing the vastness of how people have decided to group themselves, how each country represents a government, and within each country there's even other municipalities, cities, counties that all try to function, all try to govern, and try to do the best for their people, makes this a great area of study, and how international bodies or international countries talk and deal with each other has been increasingly at the forefront of many of our discussions. But finally, not only is there international disputes, but we also can see how international geographical